The Red Fort of Agra is a historical fort in the city of Agra in India. It was the main residence of the emperors of the Mughal dynasty till 1638, when the capital was shifted from Agra to Delhi. The Agra Fort is about 2.5 kilometers northwest of its more famous sister monument, the Taj Mahal. The fort can be more accurately described as a walled city. After the First Battle of Panipat in 1526, the victorious Babur stayed in the fort, in the palace of Ibrahim Lodi. He later built a Baoli in it. His successor Humayun was crowned in the fort in 1530. He was defeated at Bilgram in 1540 by Shah Suri. The fort remained with the Suris till 1555 when Humayun recaptured it. Adil Shah Suri's general Hemu recaptured Agra in 1556 and pursued its fleeing governor to Delhi, where he met the Mughals in the Battle of Tughlakabad. Realizing the importance of its central situation, Akbar made it his capital and arrived in Agra in 1558. His historian Abdul Fazal recorded that this was a brick fort known as Badalgarh. It was in a ruined condition, and Akbar had it rebuilt with red sandstone from Rajasthan. Architects laid the foundation, and it was built with bricks in the inner core, with sandstone on external surfaces. Some 4,000 builders worked on it daily for 8 years, completing it in 1573. It was only during the reign of Akbar's grandson Shah Jahan that the site took on its current state. Shah Jahan built the beautiful Taj Mahal in the memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal. Unlike his grandfather, Shah Jahan tended to have buildings made from white marbles. He destroyed some of the earlier buildings inside the fort to make his own. At the end of his life, Shah Jahan was deposed and restrained by his son Aurangzeb in the fort. It is rumored that Shah Jahan died in the Muzammam Burj, a tower with a marble balcony with a view of the Taj Mahal. The fort was invaded and captured by the Maratha Empire in the early 18th century. Thereafter, it changed hands between the Marathas and their foes many times. After their catastrophic defeat at the Third Battle of Panipat by Ahmad Shah Abdali in 1761, Marathas remained out of the region for the next decade. Finally, Mahadji Shinde took the fort in 1785. It was lost by the Marathas to the British during the Second Anglo-Maratha War in 1803. The fort was the site of a battle during the Indian Rebellion of 1857, which caused the end of the British East India Company's rule in India and led to a century of direct rule of India by Britain. The fort was commissioned by Akbar in 1565 and reportedly took 8 years to construct. The wall of the roughly crescent-shaped structure have a circumference of about 1.5 miles, rise 70 feet high, and are surrounded by a moat. There are two access points in the walls, the Amar Singh Gate facing south and the Delhi Gate facing west. The original entrance, which is richly decorated with the intricate marble inlays. Many structures within the walls were added later by subsequent Mughal emperors, notably Shah Jahan and Jahangir. The complex of buildings, reminiscent of Persian and Timurid style architectural features, forms a city within a city. Among the major attractions in the fort is Jahangir Palace, built by Akbar as a private palace for his son Jahangir. It is the largest residence in the complex. The Pearl Mosque, constructed by Shah Jahan, is a tranquil and perfectly proportioned structure made entirely of white marble. The Hall of Private Audience was used for receiving distinguished visitors. The famous Peacock Throne was once kept there before Aurangzeb took it to Delhi. In the Hall of Public Audience, the Emperor would listen to public petitions and meet state officials. The elegant marble walls of the Khas Mahal, the Emperor's private palace, were once adorned with flowers depicted by the precious gems. Located to its northeast is the splendid Palace of Mirrors, Sheesh Mahal. Its walls and ceilings inlaid with thousands of small mirrors. The structure's two dazzling chambers were probably used as baths and possibly as a boudoir by the queens. This Anguri Bagh is a beautiful garden in Agra Fort. The garden used to be vineyard during the Mughal Empire and served as the main source of winemaking for the palace. Bagh was a significant square of the royal ladies for the leisure strolls. For them, hammams were also erected on the northeast corner of the garden in such a way that they ensure complete privacy. Sheesh Mahal, that it got its name because of the wide range of mirrors in its ceiling as well as walls. Moreover, the mirrors used in the construction of Sheesh Mahal brought from an ancient city in Aleppo, Syria, named Haleb. This also served the purpose of imperial bath. Well, one of the most interesting facts about Sheesh Mahal is that when one taps at certain places, unusual sound is produced. Musamam Burj, or the octagonal tower, is believed to have been built by Shah Jahan as the palace of his beloved queen Mumtaz Mahal. And it was here that he spent his last days, since his son Aurangzeb imprisoned him till his death, along with his favorite daughter Jahanara Begum. It is situated at the location where the main wall of the fort takes a turn towards the east. It is said that at first a small marble palace built by Akbar was situated at this site, which was later demolished by Jahangir to erect new buildings. Shah Jahan, in his turn, chose this site to erect the multi-storied marble tower inlaid with precious stones for Mumtaz Mahal. It was built between 1631 and 1640 and offers exotic views of the famous Taj Mahal. The dome crowning it has gilded copper at the top, while the flooring on the lower story has been paved with marble to resemble the board for playing pachisi. Thus, it is also known as the Pachisi Court. People believe that the emperor used to play the game here, but actually this court was built merely as an ornamental cover for the drains. The most notable traits of this tower is a projecting Jarokha on its eastmost side, an elegant marble screen on the riverfront side, the vertical pillars, and the horizontal chhaja supported on beautiful brackets. The most ornate building of the entire fort is a small pavilion known as Shah situated near this tower. The highlights of this pavilion are a stylish lotus tank with a fountain in the center, which is ostentatiously carved and inlaid with semi-precious stones. The vaulted marble roof of the pavilion was once painted royally with gold and other colors. A semi-contained building in itself, it has its own separate courtyards and baths, and one can reach the imperial baths and Diwani cars through a passage here. It also had a small marble room that was kept cool during summers with the aid of a waterfall and a channel. The inlay work on the pillars and dado panels of the Muzammam Burj depict style borders and carved plants in the center, Chinese cloud forms and conventional floral patterns. Ghaznin Gate or the Somnath Gate. This gate originally belongs to the tomb of Mahmud Ghaznavi at Ghazni. He died in 1030 AD. It was brought from there by the British in 1842. It was claimed in the historic proclamation of the Lord Ellenborough, the Governor General, that these were the sandalwood gates of Somnath, which Mahmud had taken to Ghazni in 1025, and the British had thus avenged an insult of 800 years back. This false claim was made just to win the goodwill of the Indian people. The gate is, in fact, made of local deodar wood of Ghazni and not of sandalwood. The style of decoration bears no resemblance to ancient Gujarati woodwork. There is also an Arabic inscription carved on the upper side. It mentions Mahmud with his epithets. The idea of restore it at Somnath was ultimately given up and the gate was abandoned. Since then, it is stored in this room. In no way it is related to this fort or the Mughals, and it is lying here either as a war trophy of the British campaign of 1842 or as a sad reminder of the historic lies of the East India Company. Nobody would doubt that Shah Jahan built some of the finest monuments in India, from the Taj Mahal to Jama Masjid. However, history will record that Akbar too was no less a grand builder of massive structures. The enormous Jahangir Mahal is a testimony to this fact. While there are several spectacular buildings in Agra Fort, this one stands apart from the rest by virtue of its simplicity and integrity. Jahangir Mahal was built by Akbar for his son Jahangir to serve as his private residence. However, the Rajput wife of Akbar used it as their principal zazana. It also served as the main residence of Nur Jahan, wife of Jahangir. It is also one of the first buildings to greet your eyes when you enter Agra Fort from Amar Singh Gate. The palace is made of red sandstone and displays a generous blend of Hindu and Islamic architectural styles. Its outer walls rise with the massive ramparts of the fortress on the river. A gateway leads to an inner courtyard surrounded by large halls which are extremely adorned with Persian-style stone carvings. The most striking feature of the palace is the decorative stone brackets that supports the beams. This a huge bowl called Hausi Jahangiri that is carved out of a single piece of stone. This was used as a container for fragrant rose water. Akbari Mahal, situated at the southeast corner at the northern alignment of Jahangiri Mahal in Agra Fort. Overlooking the river are the remains of Akbari Mahal. It is the oldest building of the fort, being contemporary to the stepped well, Baoli, and the rampart walls. Originally, it had a portico on the western side, whose lower walls are still extant. The portico opened in the spacious rectangular courtyard paved with red sandstone slabs